Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank
Happy
you for
Tuesday.
joining us. Apologies to any of you who were watching our live stream yesterday. I had a minor personal emergency. Everything's okay. Hi, Mom. Glad you're feeling better. Um, so thank you for returning today. And again, apologies for the missed attempt at a podcast yesterday, but we are back today, and we're just going to pretend it's Monday, right?
Never be sorry. I'm
All
so
right.
glad she's doing okay.
Well, before we get started, let's just say hi to Eric P in the comments. Looking forward to some nice Christmas outfits for Mickey and Minnie. We're going to be talking about holidays at Disneyland a little later. And as always, Blossom Michelangelo in Derek's Corner. Thank you for joining us. Brian Sager. Yes, thank you. This is the sequel.
Well, part one doesn't exist, so.
Yeah, we erased that from history, so we're not going to mention that. All right, without any further ado, let's jump into this show in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 203 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I am Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Carly, how have you been?
I have been great. I am just getting ready right now, as we speak, to head to a certain new land opening at our favorite Universal Orlando Resort. So, maybe I will see you there.
I hope you have packed your bananas.
Yes.
Yes, there's a grand opening on August 11th. August 11th, a little later this week, and I am hoping that maybe I'll run into you there.
Yes, definitely. I actually have been holding out on a little bit of accessories that I purchased at Universal Hollywood a couple months ago that are now available I think I saw them in Bake My Day, the new bakery shop. It's very cute. It's like Minions and cotton candy. So been waiting for that. I am so excited to experience the new attraction. I know you've gone on it a bunch, but I've been waiting. It's a weird thing I do in my mind that sometimes I don't like to go on it during the test period. I don't know what it is.
I will say that this test period has been a lot of testing and a lot of adjusting. This is more like a video game than a traditional theme park ride, and so there's been a lot of work done on the graphics and the gameplay. So it's probably not a bad thing that you held off a little bit, but maybe we'll get to do it together and compare scores.
Yes, I would love that. I got to think of my name for the app. I haven't done that yet. So I've been thinking, if anyone has any ideas, message me. But yes, I am so excited, and hopefully I'll get to hang out with you.
That would be awesome. Well, if you see a name in the leaderboard that's unofficial guides, that's me.
Love it.
Sorry, not too creative. But
I was just very creative.
I'm looking forward to seeing you later this week. This past week, I got to sample a couple of food festivals. I visited Food and Wine at Epcot, and also a media day for SeaWorld's Craft Beer Festival. My only advice, if you're visiting any of these, is don't do it in the middle of the day. Don't do it at the heat of the day. Try to wait until after sunset. Just hit the parks the last few hours of the night when it's a little cooler. And hydrate. Beer is not hydration. Wine is not hydration.
Oh my God!
You got to keep pounding the water. Stick to the shade, and really, if in past years you were used to drinking this much, cut that back and double the amount of water, because it is hotter out there than it has ever been during one of these food festivals.
100%. Yeah, I was at Disney's Riviera Resort last week doing some of the Disney Vacation Club activities, and I headed over to Epcot with intentions of visiting Food and Wine. I was super hydrated, well rested. 10 minutes in, and something just came over me, and I was like, I know me. I wasn't drinking. I was just drinking water. I had to go back to the hotel, and I spent the entire day in the pool because this heat is no joke this year. Listen to your body. don't push yourself, don't push your family. I know it's expensive. I know you're spending a lot of money, but you'll ruin your trip quicker if you don't take that mid-afternoon break. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
fair warning.
Listen to your body, because a trip to the emergency room is a lot more expensive than just losing a day's worth of a ticket because you need to nap. Yeah, for sure. Take care
Yeah,
of yourselves out there.
especially
Um,
after noon. Hit the park early,
mhm.
leave around noon, come back maybe in the evening. Although I don't know. I saw last night it was still like 100 degrees at
It
8:45
was
p.m.
it was
So
rough. It's a whole new world.
it is.
All right, without any further ado, let's jump directly into the news in the queue. All right, we are starting off at the Disneyland Resort, where the new Nemo's Cove water play area opened on August 1st at the Pixar Place Hotel, formerly known as the Paradise Pier Hotel, formerly known as the Pacific Pier Hotel. The hotel that is the least Disney hotel possibly on Earth is finally getting a good coat of Disney Pixar from top to bottom. And the first big element is this colorful looking splash pad.
Yes, I think it looks really good.
Mhm,
I visited it the first weekend that it reopened after it got some of the Pixar installation,
mhm.
and I will say it looks really good. I think it's a big improvement so far from, what it was before. I love the gift shop. There's so many really good Disney nuggets in there, but I think definitely the selling point for this is going to be this expansive pool complex.
I personally, I have a love-hate relationship with this hotel. Over the last decade, I've stayed in it a lot because my company has a DVC membership, and our home points for Disneyland are there.
Oh no.
Um, it is it is what it is. It was definitely built as just a generic kind of conference looking hotel back in the day.
Yeah.
And it had a goofy statue in the lobby. It had some fun pillows on the beds, and otherwise you'd never know it was a Disney hotel. And especially this pool deck, it was up nice and high. It's kind of on the roof, so it had a nice view of the fireworks. But other than that, it was just like blank concrete, boring. So this is definitely a nice improvement. Not the world's biggest water slide, topped with crush over here, but not a bad little water slide. And the splash pad will definitely get some good use when it's hot out. The pool's a little itself is a little on the smaller side, but they're not done yet. They're also adding like a dry play area that's going to have like family activities. And it's going to have interactive activities inspired by favorite characters from Pixar short films, including La Luna, Bao, For the Birds, Burrow, and the Love Struck umbrellas from the Blue Umbrella. And I want to see what they're going to do with that. Is it literally just going to be a blue umbrella, and they'll be like, yeah, that's the blue umbrella.
Absolutely. I mean, anyway, I think the pop of color will,
Absolutely.
instantly make this better
Hmm.
already. I'm not sure if personally I would choose to stay there. I'd probably just spend a little bit more and stay at the Disneyland Hotel because it's really not that much of a price difference. Or I'm just gonna, scrimp it and stay at Hotel Lulu,
Yeah.
which I
Uh,
love.
like I said, personally, if I am paying cash for a hotel room in the Disneyland area, I'm not staying on site because you simply, other than the 30 minutes of early entry that you are getting now, you're just not getting the kind of benefits that you would get like at Walt Disney World that would justify that price. And I do love the Disneyland Hotel for its charm. It's got some
Mhm.
great theming, and it's you can easily walk from Trader Sam's and stumble back to your room. That's always a
And
plus.
a knockout pool. Love those
Knockout
monorail
pool.
slides.
I will say that the one nice thing that the now the Pixar Place Hotel has is that exclusive entrance direct
Mhm.
into the backside of DCA. that can really be convenient. It's actually not all that great in the morning because at early entry they only have one little security checkpoint there, and they open it later than the one at the front of the park. So you actually are not getting that much advantage at rope drop. Oh, but it is so nice at the end of the day to just be able to walk out, or in the
Mhm.
middle of the day if you're just popping back to your hotel and not having to go all the way back to the front. So that
Absolutely.
is a bonus. And this splash pad is nice. Whether that justifies the prices versus some of the, $150 a night motels right across the street that are a closer walk, I don't know. But
I think so. Personal choice.
I look forward to checking this out. I also look forward to checking out the Great Maple, which is the first time I think Disney has put a chain restaurant as their main restaurant in an on-site hotel. But they've got a menu of fried chicken and Cajun shrimp. So I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit of looks like southern, southeast cooking in the Southwest, uh, California.
Say that 3 times fast.
Exactly, exactly. Anyway, this transformation is ongoing. There's going to be a Pixar lamp on the classic Pixar ball in the lobby. More stuff coming as this wraps up later this year. Okay, next up, more Disney news. They've made some tweaks to the Disney online restaurant reservation system, and hopefully that might make it a little easier for you to get the reservation that you are looking for. I think you probably use the reservation system more than I do. I don't. I don't eat in a ton of sit-down restaurants in Disney World.
See, I'm a walk-up girl. So, since they added
There.
the walk I can never if I can make a dining reservation in advance, it's almost a 90% guarantee I'm gonna cancel it. I do look at to see what times are available, like, quite often because it's kind of fun,
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe that's how I find joy, uh, but I love the walk-up feature, but this is good, it's interesting when I went to write about this, I was like, how do I explain this? Because if you really aren't an avid user of
Hmm.
the app, it's really hard to explain. But I
Yeah.
guess the best way to say is I want to dine at Via Napoli at 12 noon. The old way, I put in 12 noon. And if there wasn't a time right before, right after it, it
It'd
wouldn't
say
show up.
sorry.
Yeah. So it would say, sorry, we're out of time. So then you could click 1 o'clock and all of a sudden there'd be time. So it was a
Right.
little bit of a mind bend. Now they're going to make it easier. It's going to show every time that is available.
Yeah. It's not a fundamental change to the way reservations work. Doesn't mean
Right.
there's suddenly more reservations. All it means is that they've improved the user interface to have less clicking. The old way, if you said I want to go at lunch or I want to go at this time, it would only show you a very narrow window, like three
Mhm.
options. And if none of those three options fit your filter criteria, then it would say there were no options. Now instead, it will show you all the various options. It'll kind of center it on the one that's closest to what you chose. But if there isn't one that's an exact match, it'll show you everything else that's available. Um, Disney says that these changes will make the guest experience more convenient so they can spend more time enjoying their visit, which is what Disney says to every single change.
Yes.
Um, Keep in mind, this is coming on the heels of not long ago, they changed the window to modify your reservations. It used to be that you had to change them 24 hours beforehand or you would get dinged with a penalty fee. Now it looks like it's down to just 2 hours. Disneyland for a while was letting you change up to the last second, and then they made that window 2 hours. So that's now consistent, I believe, across Disney World and Disneyland.
Yes.
Um,
So that'll
but
save you a trip to guest services because before, I mean,
mhm,
I am guilty many times going, plans change. And, if Disney wants us to be, on our toes with, Tron, we don't know when we're going to get on.
exactly.
Our boarding
You
group
got
is on.
you got ride breakdowns, you've got weather, you've got kids.
Right.
Things
And
happen in a.
absolutely. And for a system that is built on flexibility, the one
Mhm.
thing holding everyone back was this dining element. So they're finally kind of getting in line with the rest of their idealists about the app, It's
Yep.
it's kind of crazy. This was just not working with everything else, but
Yeah.
hopefully this will make it better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a one-time visitor, you probably didn't even notice this. But if you are a local, if you're someone who likes to dine at the parks a lot, this should probably, save you a few thumb taps on your screen. The change I kind of wish that they would make, this is great for searching various times within a day. I wish there was a way to search an entire range of dates. I believe you still have to put in one date at a time. I
Mhm.
would love to say, hey, find me availability anytime in this week. That would be great. Um, but keep an eye on the app. It's always changing and updating. All right, next up for something completely different, still kind of related to dining though.
Yes.
Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. Yes, that is the real name of a city in Indiana. Is building a $10 million roller coaster themed around a gravy boat.
Good
Uh,
gravy.
good gravy! Exclamation mark. You got to have the exclamation mark. Is going to be rolling into Holiday World next year in the Thanksgiving themed section of the park. If you've never been to Holiday World, it started out as a little Santa Claus themed park. I think way back in like the 1940s, maybe.
It's one of the oldest.
Yeah,
They say they're the oldest theme park. It's one
yeah,
of, I will say, because there are a few.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, predates Disneyland by almost a decade, I think. And it's grown over the years, adding holidays like Thanksgiving and
Fourth of
4th of
July,
July,
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Is there an Arbor Day? I don't know. Tu B'Shvat. Anyway, this is going to be a pretty big expansion, looking to open in May of 2024. And it is a boomerang style family coaster, which is this is not something you often see. It's got like a spike that you'll go up and back. Um, you'll go through a giant can of cranberry
Yes.
sauce. And the whole time you're going to be riding in what looks like an adorable little old-fashioned gravy boat, just like Grandma used to have.
Yes. No, I love this. Holiday World has some incredible roller coasters. The Voyage is one of probably my top 5, and it's
You
very
always see that
interesting.
listed on, top whatever
Always.
lists of roller coasters in the
Yes,
country.
and they have somehow maintained that charm of a historic,
Mm,
quaint park while still growing, and I know
mhm,
how hard that is to maintain. You see other parks kind of struggling now, like Dollywood and stuff, how do you keep growing, but you keep that charm? The
mhm.
charm is still there, and I kind of love that they're doing just like an irreverent roller coaster like this because it's like, hey, look at us, but also look at us because this is why we're different.
Yeah, it's definitely got a sense of humor. I mean, like, there's a giant milk bottle with the name of the family that owns the park, is the dairy on the bottle,
Yeah.
and there's actually a going to be a completely themed queue building, based around Grandma's house. So before you get on the boats, you're gonna have go through Grandma's house with a vintage black and white TV and all sorts of grandma knickknacks, which I think is going to be adorable.
Yes. I mean, the Thanksgiving land is so cool because there's also a Sally Dark ride where you're shooting turkeys, which is just like out of control bizarre.
Mhm.
You can get Thanksgiving
You are
dinner
you are
at the
not
end.
shooting turkeys. You are calling turkeys.
Calling, oh, sorry.
You're calling
Calling
them to
turkey.
you so you can hug them and you can all have a nice vegan tofurkey Thanksgiving dinner together with the turkeys.
Sure. I will say don't eat the Thanksgiving dinner meal before going on this. Maybe wait till after.
Maybe not a good
Very
choice.
heavy.
Well, other highlights of this ride are going to be max speed of 37 miles an hour, so family friendly. But there's going to be a 20-foot tall whisk and an 18-foot tall rolling pin that you have to avoid before going up the 77-foot high spike. 1,500 feet of track backwards. Looks like a pretty good combination. Almost similar stats to like a Slinky Dog Dash, but with the added uniqueness of that backward spike.
I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to have these family coasters, especially here. There's a lot of like thrill level coasters,
Mhm.
so it's nice to have something a little bit more for people of all ages can do together.
Yeah. And in addition to the coaster, there's also Stuffing Springs, which is a new area that's going to surround the coaster. That's going to have a play area, some benches, shade. Thanksgiving for shade. Thank goodness. A Dipping Dots stand to help you cool down. And that Dipping Dots is going to be inside a refurbished 1964 Airstream. So pretty nifty.
Very cool.
Would love to check this out. If
Yes.
you go to our YouTube channel right now, you can see a concept video of the ride, and it looks great. So construction's already begun. They say the track's going to arrive in November, and it's going to open to season pass holders on May 4th and 5th of 2024, almost a week ahead of the public opening. So go ahead and buy your 2024 season pass right now, and you get the rest of this year free.
Good deal.
All right. Next up in our news, Cedar Point is also building a roller coaster just a little bit taller than this one. And it's
Tiny,
not,
tiny bit.
yeah, it's not a brand new coaster. It is the resurrection, the rebirth, the reincarnation of Top Thrill Dragster is now going to be Top Thrill 2, opening in 2024 as the world's tallest and fastest triple launch strata coaster.
Whew.
All right, who out there knows what a strata coaster is?
Me.
Yes,
There's so many words. There's so many lingos.
right.
So a strata coaster,
Mhm.
STRATA, is a coaster that exceeds the height of 400 feet.
400
Not to be
feet.
confused with a giga coaster, which is 300 to 399.
Right. And then what was like it? I remember when we first hit 200-foot coasters, which was like, I don't know, is that a mega coaster or a hyper coaster? I don't know.
Something like
Super
that.
yeah. So we're running out of words. We're having to make up words. When I don't know what we're gonna call it when it hits 500 feet. But
Crazy.
but until yeah, but until then, so the legendary Top Thrill Dragster had some issues.
Yep.
Never the most reliable ride over its 20-year legacy. But now it is going to be reborn, keeping the original Big Hill, but adding a brand new 420-foot tall tower with a spike. So you will have a forward launch and a rollback, an intentional rollback, something that would happen
Ooh.
unintentionally a lot of time on the old ride. Roll backwards up this big spike, and then go forward, finally up over the big hill. And if just the one launch and the one hill was pretty freaky, this is going to be one of the more intense coasters on the planet when it's ready, I think.
Yes. I will try it once. Maybe I'll love
Once.
it.
Once.
Maybe I'll love it. You never know.
So speeds on this are going to reach 74 miles per hour, thanks to those 3 launches using an all-new LSM launch system. Like I said, the original 420-foot top hat is being retained. You're going to be diving up over it and into a 270-degree spiral before you cross that finish line. The interesting thing is that I believe this was originally built by Intamin, but Zamperla Rides is taking over, and wondering how Intamin feels about that.
Yeah, they're probably not happy. But like you said, over the years, there's been some issues with it. So maybe that's for the redirection.
Yep. Well, so if you want to get in on being one of the first to experience Top Thrill 2, you can purchase a 2024 Gold Pass. They're on sale now for a limited time for just $99 plus tax. And that includes admission to Cedar Point, their water park, and their Halloween weekends for the rest of this year and all of 2024. So get those details over at cedarpoint.com. I have never been to Cedar Point, and I've been dreaming for years about a Midwest roller coaster trip. So, hey, maybe this would be a good time to try
Yes, that
that,
would be
huh?
a good reason.
All right, and for our last piece of news in the queue, Legoland New York is offering 100 annual passes when the temperature hits 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't know if this is good news or bad news. Good news for fans of Legoland New York, bad news for the human race, I guess.
Right.
So here's the deal. It is a hot summer, as we have talked about many times, and Legoland is kind of taking advantage of that with this special where when the thermometer reaches 100 degrees inside the water playground, their brand new water playground inside the Legoland park, they are going to give away 25 4-packs of passes. Those are Silver Plus annual passes, totaling 100 of them. And in order to get in on this, you have to visit the park from August 2nd through September 4th and enter the promotion via their Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter feeds.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this was very cool. But I'm curious. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like, we're from up there. I don't remember
It
it.
should not be reaching 100 degrees
No.
Fahrenheit this is outside of New York City. This is kind of
Yeah.
like not quite
There's no.
far upstate New
Yeah.
York, but it's like an hour or so north of the
Yes.
city. And this is not an urban heat island. This is not a place that is normally hitting 100 degrees. They couldn't try this stunt in Orlando, obviously, or
No.
Legoland, Florida, out
Right.
in Lakeland.
No, when I was just home, I went into New York City to see a show, and it was funny. The news was freaking me out. It's like, it's so hot, heat advisory. And I was like, oh, I didn't break a sweat. But it's like
Right.
10 plus years of living in the
Yes.
Southeast, and
Yeah.
you're ruined.
But no, the folks living in New York State definitely not used to it hitting 100 degrees.
No.
So time it right, check the weather reports, and maybe you can score yourself a 4-pack of annual passes. Whether or not the thermometer hits 100, they have that new water playground to help you keep cool. Includes a big 318-gallon water bucket and little water slides. They've got a splash battle ride, and they've got events after the sun goes down in the evening with cool local bands.
Ooh, love it. Great park.
Yep. Those all of the Legoland parks, by the way, now are certified autism centers. California, Florida. So if you have someone in your family with sensory issues, it's a great place to visit.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of our news in the queue. But before we jump into this week's main attraction, it is time to hear a word from our sponsors.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and Mousefan Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
And for our main attraction this week, the holidays are returning to Disneyland Resort on November 10th through January 7th. And we've got all the details on the events to go through.
Yes, very exciting. I'd say it's the most wonderful time of the year, but I think that's Halloween.
I think that's That's copyrighted. I think
Yes.
that's actually part of the parade song at Universal's Macy's. But it is the most magical time on the at the happiest place on earth. And this year's mid-century modern
Mm,
inspired holiday celebration includes the debut of some new holiday outfits for Mickey and Minnie. They look very
snazzy.
dapper.
Yes, love it. Uh,
Uh,
and of course, one of my favorites is the return of Disney Festival of the Holidays. So that is Disneyland's version, of their holiday food and wine festival
mhm.
hosted inside DCA. But they celebrate so many great holidays, and I think where they really shine is with the live entertainment, representing a lot of different cultures and traditions. And they really do a good job with it, and it brings a much different feel than if you're used to the Epcot festival.
Yes, California Adventure has really stepped up their game with seasonal live entertainment over the last decade. It's not just Christmas and Hanukkah. You've got Navidad, you've got Diwali, you've got Kwanzaa, you've got Three Kings Day. My favorite is actually the Viva Navidad. It's the
Hmm.
street party that they do over at Paradise Gardens. They've got these big puppets, marionette style puppets for Coco. The Three Caballeros get into it. They've, I think, recently brought Mirabelle from Encanto into the show. It's a really great production.
Definitely. I love how Paradise Gardens Park has been kind of like that hub for
Hmm.
everything special. The Dia de los Muertos coming up.
Yes,
So I love how they've done that.
yes, and food. They have food. They have crafts. The live entertainment is really. You can definitely plan to spend some time in that corner of the park. Also, plan to see the Christmas Fantasy Parade. This is a Main Street USA classic. And it features characters from Frozen and Toy Story, of course, along with Santa Claus. You've got the classic marching toy soldiers and the reindeer, and you can't beat seeing Santa come down Main Street USA.
Nope, cannot.
Believe in Holiday Magic is back yet again. I'm gonna be a little controversial. My hot take is that while it's nice, this is probably the least impressive of all of the fireworks shows that they do during the year. Let's just go. It's very restrained. It is not over the top. It doesn't have a lot of Disney music. It doesn't have a lot of Disney characters. It's a lot of classical music. It's a lot
Right.
of subtle colors. But there will be a dusting of magical Christmas
Hmm.
snow. And it does seem like they've added over the years some projection effects on the castle. Don't expect to see all the projection mapping on like Small World and Main Street like they do for the other fireworks, though.
Right. Yeah, I definitely prefer Halloween
Oh
fireworks
yeah,
there. They're so
for sure,
good.
for sure.
Definitely infused with a bit more of Disney magic. This is
Mhm.
just more like majestic and like
Yeah,
really nice fireworks, which there's
yeah.
nothing
It's
wrong with
it's
that.
it's classy. It's kind
Mhm.
of, but it's kind of subtle by Disney standards. Seasons of Light over at World of Color is not particularly subtle. I really enjoy it though. I like the Nutcracker sequence. Um, with all the Toy Story characters.
Mhm.
That is part of the current one. That is it, or is that part of the old one that they got rid of?
I don't know. I honestly, this is my
It's
least
been a few
favorite
years since
show.
but with the pandemic and everything, I haven't seen the Christmas World in color in a few years. But I'm sure we have a complete recording of the most recent one on our YouTube channel. So go watch that and tell me I'm wrong.
Please get in the festive mood.
Please. I'm not wrong about It's a Small World Holiday, though. This is really a great layover of the classic Small World ride. They put in decorations, they put in lights, and they change out the song. So you can have a different earworm stuck in your ear.
It is
And
worth
they
the hype. I mean, overlays at Disneyland are just chef's kiss. I mean, you
absolutely.
can't even compete.
Absolutely, and the king of all the overlays, of course, is Haunted Mansion Holiday. I know some people are annoyed by the amount of time that the Haunted Mansion has to be down to install and uninstall it. And I guess if for some crazy reason you don't love Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe it's not your bag, but I really love this. and I love seeing every year how they've updated the gingerbread house.
Yes.
The only thing I don't love about it is through most of the year, Haunted Mansion and It's a Small World are rides you can pretty easily ride without Genie Plus. But you are going to want that return time for both of these attractions because they both get big crowds when their holiday overlays are on.
Oh yes. Your best bet is to rope drop it if
Yep.
you're not going to do Genie Plus because it is just
Plus,
pandemonium always. But for good reason, it is an excellent ride. I don't even like the film per se, but I love the ride and I can do it over and over and over again.
and then moving back to Cars Land, uh, Mater's Jingle Jamboree and Luigi's Joy to the World seasonal overlays are both coming back to those Cars Land attractions, along with the decoration all along Route 66. Mickey's Happy Holidays is going to be, looks like maybe not a full blown parade, but maybe more of a little character mini parade. But it's
A little
gonna
cavalcade, maybe?
cavalcade. We got to love cavalcades during the pandemic. I want more cavalcades.
It's so fun to say.
There's going to be a festive holiday toy drummers leading with Mickey and Minnie and the gang marching around Disney California Adventure. And of course, it wouldn't be Christmas without a visit from Santa Claus. From November 10th through December 24th, Santa will somehow be able to pose for photos simultaneously in Critter Country at Disneyland, Redwood Creek Challenge Shell in Disney California Adventure, and Disney's Californian Hotel and Spa, and in the Disneyland Hotel.
He
How
does
he can do, he runs back and forth. For someone who's got a little extra weight on him, he can sure move fast.
Well, the villains were in Redwood Creek getting it ready since it was
Oh,
there.
okay.
So then maybe they gave him a little bit of magic.
Gotcha.
Over from Oogie Boogie.
I don't think Santa and Oogie Boogie are on speaking terms yet. They've got a little history. Uh, so if you want a preview of any of these activities, as I mentioned, we've got videos from past years of the Christmas Fantasy Parade, Believe in Holiday Magic, and lots of other stuff up on our website. And of course, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel will help you plan that trip.
Yes. And we're still waiting on all the treats, which is one of the best parts of Disneyland. I'm sure we'll see the hand-pulled candy canes return, the bakery cart inside the Grand Californian, all the things, all the sweet things. So
I've got
excited.
a Disneyland annual pass burning a hole in my pocket that I've not been able to use recently, and I'm hoping, don't think I'll make it for Halloween, but maybe I'll be able to make it out for Christmas.
Yes.
All right. Well, that just about brings us to the end of another episode. But before we go, let us take a quick look back at some of the many comments that we got while we were talking. Eric O checking in from Hollywood to
Eric.
say top of the morning. Brian Sager we did not get to talk much about Halloween Horror Nights, but he has an opinion that we need the Terror Tram and the Death Eaters or Megan announcements for Hollywood. I don't think we officially announced the Death Eaters for Orlando yet, but we have seen props being set up, so we think that is coming to Diagon Alley. Eric is pointing out that when I visited the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, I did not try the pickle milkshake. No, I did not. I overheard guests getting the pickle milkshake and taking one sip of it, and they reacted much like I do to blue milk. So we're going to leave it.
Yeah, I don't need to touch that.
We're going to leave it there.
We'll let the influencers do it and make their, TikToks. Very cool for that, but not eating that.
So what else have we got here? I'm looking through our comments, and so he was asking for a little bit more detail on the dining reservation system and the time frames. They now get you choice. You can pick breakfast, you can pick lunch, you can pick dinner. And then once you pick that range, then it shows you all the exact hours. So it is, it's hard to describe on the radio. So I
It is
encourage
hard to
you
describe any way possible unless you're
pick
actually
pick
doing
up
it, and even then
just pick up your phone, open the app, and just start tapping around on it.
yes.
Just you don't make a reservation if you don't need one, but you can experiment and then cancel out.
Yes.
Um,
We promise you, just look at it, you need to visualize it. Above all, it should add flexibility and convenience to the Disney experience based on feedback.
yeah. Um, Brian had the same reaction to the Gravy Boat coaster as I did. He can't believe it's a real thing that's happening. Just imagine if Knott's Berry Farm built a food-related attraction like that. Um, I think Knott's could do a great job with that. I would like to see maybe a flume ride down a Boysenberry River.
I would
Think
love it.
that
I love Berry Tales. That's like one of my favorite attractions there. But yes, that would be cool if we got like a roller coaster, or maybe we could fly on a pie. I don't know.
And Brian is also encouraging us, if Carly, if you can do Iron Gwazi and Steel Vengeance, that you can do Top Thrill too, no problem.
I will do it. I
All
will.
right. And he's also got a prediction that Tiana's Place might be ready to go for the winter season. We have seen updates on Tiana's Place. Does look like exterior work is wrapping up. Don't know exactly what's going on in the interior. I would not be surprised if that opens significantly before the ride. If nothing else, Disneyland could use the extra food capacity. Um,
Absolutely.
and he's got one last comment, which would not be surprised if they do something Disney 100 related for the holidays, even though the real anniversary date is in October. That's a good guess. Disney never lets a merchandising opportunity pass
Never.
without taking advantage of it. Vince Lamb, thank you for your
Thank
well
you.
wishes on our take two here. And last but not least, Miss Sugar Cookie checking in from Scotland. Hello there.
Great
Thank you for
place.
joining us. Okay, well, that brings us to the end. Before we go, one more thank you to our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Thank you to all of you who are leaving us ratings or reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to us. Please be sure to visit attractionsmagazine.com and follow us on all of our social medias. Carly, where can folks follow you?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Adventures by Carly, and on X, Twitter, whatever, at Carly Caramata.
You can find me at theunofficialguides.com or on the VillainCon Minion Blast leaderboards as unofficial guides.
Gotta get my name today.
All right. And until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, stay cool and hydrated, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. And we will see you again next time. Bye.